Windows update.
Anyway.
Just edit that out.
Damn.
It's like Windows update is like it'll brick your computer without you even realizing.
Oh.
Thank you. Fucking
Yeah,
thing.
I had that problem last year. I needed my laptop for a bunch of assignments, and then Windows forced an update, and it like corrupted my hard drive.
Thanks,
It was
man.
shit. It completely ruined my laptop. Yeah.
Took way longer to start recording.
Yeah, I probably had enough time to eat all those biscuits, but...
We're only on one microphone today, so
Yep.
if it's a bit shit, I'm sorry.
Should we
Probably.
turn that up? Is that going to make it louder?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Okay, that's not the one we were looking for. Oh no, maybe it's all maxed out actually.
I'll see.
Oh well.
Just tell me if it goes up.
Whoa.
Oh no, wait, this one.
Oh.
Here we go.
Whoop, 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 whoop,
Woo!
whoop, whoop, whoop.
It's a bit
yeah, there we
bigger.
go. Yeah, there we go. The noise pictures are bigger now. So that's got to be good, right?
We'll figure it out.
Yep. Awesome. I'll avoid going straight back for another biscuit.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, that
that's
one's yours. No,
That's
that one's yours. That one was mine.
Okay.
Not that it makes a difference. Neither of them are open.
So you're telling me before this kerfuffle of a clusterfuck of trying to get a computer to record through a microphone, which you think would be as simple as plugging it in and recording, because nothing has changed since we last done this, except for Windows
Except
Update.
something broke. That's all that changed.
Yeah. Tell me about your USB problems. You said you have a USB that you've got all this old weird shit on.
Oh, yeah. I was just talking about going through when you find old USBs from years ago. You plug them in, you have a look at what's on them. And I had like a bunch of stuff just from writing or whatever when I was, in high school. And I was reading it, I was just like, this is fucking awful. It's just like, wipe the whole thing.
Was it like you just ranting at the world and shit?
Yeah, a little bit. There was a little bit of that. There was a bunch of different kinds of writing. There was like some story stuff in there which sucked. There was some ranting stuff which sucked. There was
What
me
were you
trying
ranting at?
I can't even fucking remember. This was like a little while ago I found it. Because I ended up using the hard drive as like my backup for my computer. But yeah, I found all this shit and I was like, what the fuck was I doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
It's
Anyway.
it's like the time I tried to digitize my diary one time. I used some sort of software, but like every journal entry like I made, I tried to tag it with different themes and shit so I could come back. It lasted about 2 weeks and I'm like, oh fuck this.
Yeah, this is fucking way more hassle than it's worth. Yeah.
I was like, yeah. It's like every TV show or book I read, I went to the point of like writing a little paragraph about it.
Too much. Too soon.
Way too much, man. It's like, I watched an episode of The Sopranos, season 2, episode 7.
Yeah.
I like this episode. And then you're like, what else do you write about it?
Yeah.
Without like regurgitating the plot. Yeah. Good work.
Yeah. I don't want to give anything away, but one of the characters did something and it was awesome. Yeah, fucking great. Yeah.
The shit you do when you're young.
Yeah. It's alright, so what's been happening? When's the last time we recorded? It's got to be like a month or two ago, right?
Yeah, a while back. I think it was in our break.
Well, it's still in our break now.
Wow.
Oh, you mean the mid-semester?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
About 6 weeks or so.
Yeah. Am I projecting my voice enough? Is this going to pick anything up?
Oh, I can try to make it louder.
Yeah.
But
It's going to be... Yeah.
that's why we've got to kind of lean in. I'll move it closer.
Yeah.
Achtung.
There we go.
I have to like huddle in.
Talk here. Is that... Oh, jeez. All right, here we go.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez, Morty.
I don't know. So what's new since we last did this? A bunch of things.
Oh, you honeycombed your hand with a spider bite.
Yeah,
fun.
I got an abscess on my hand that was cut and scraped today, so that's fun. I'm just waiting for that local anaesthetic to wear off, and then it's all going to suck ass. But thankfully, I found a box of 100 tablets of Panadol for $2, and 2 boxes of 50 tablets of ibuprofen for $4. So
You can kill yourself.
well, yeah, I now have enough painkillers to kill the pain.
Apparently, if you so chooses.
Yeah, there's a lot there, but it was super cheap. It was like $8 or whatever or $6 for all of this stuff, and then next to it was a box of I think it's called like I don't know, Nurofen or something like that. But it's basically just Panadol and ibuprofen stuck in one tablet, right? And it was a box of 12 for $10. And I was like, wait a second, so I can get 100 for $6, or I can get 12 for $10.
Some people have problems taking tablets, man.
Yeah, I guess
They'll
so.
actually have that inconvenience. They're willing to pay that extra money for it.
And there's also like all of those easy take things that you pay like $5 and you get 20 tablets for something. Anyway, so I've just got like
I don't believe
the
it's a real
absolute
thing.
cheapest. Well, I just drink a shitload of water while you do it. Anyway, so I got those.
Just swallow them.
Well, yeah, sometimes I did that with my first lot of antibiotic tablets.
Oh, without
But
water.
that one was a bad idea because the casing on the outside, as soon as you get it a little bit wet, just
It
sticks
sticks.
to everything. So it got halfway down my throat, stuck there, and started to dissolve. And it was just like it was making me nauseous. Like you can feel it dissolving. It was shit. So that was fucking awful. I was like, oh man, I'm not doing that one again.
That was
But
pretty stupid.
yeah, so some of them are good to take with water, but like yeah, I feel for the Panadol tablets, they're pretty fine to just have. Yeah, so that happened. We had you tweaked your knee.
Yeah,
Shit.
it's shit times, but you know this rehab's actually made it feel better than it's ever been for a long time. So, you know,
That's good.
physios know what they're doing.
Well, that's why you pay them a lot of money.
Oh, fucking oath. So I went to my physio. I think it was the second or third time I went, and I was there for maybe 15 minutes. They gave me a massage. They gave me an extra exercise to do, and I was like, "Are you seriously? You
It'll be $90.
yeah, right."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Nah, fuck this,"
Yeah.
and I didn't go back since. I'm gonna wait another few more weeks till my knees.
Yeah, and then get
Right,
like
and
the
then-
final checkup.
Yeah, we'll just like go. Okay, what else should I be doing now?
Yeah.
And then but I talked to a physio friend at training at jiu-jitsu, and he said, you caught on to that early. I'm glad. Because apparently they'll take people for a fucking ride.
Yeah, ride. Yeah.
He said, especially if you already know how to lift and how to squat and all this shit properly, then
Yeah,
you don't
really need them.
don't need them apart from like a diagnosis and a recovery plan.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that makes sense. I mean, I imagine most of the people who do stuff, if they're a bit more sedentary, they probably don't know how to exercise properly.
Yeah, they don't.
But-
That's why they have to go back and
Yeah.
be taught how to squat.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
No, thanks.
Oh, well, that's the thing.
Yeah, it's yeah, watch all those medical professionals like that. They'll take you for a spin if they can.
Yeah. It's kind of why I'm happy we get, like, for the most part, free medical at uni.
Oh, well, that's the problem if you don't have free medical
Yeah.
system.
Yeah, which is kind of why you should, right? Alright, so...
It's like that's the reason why I think it's good to have the government will pay only $60 for a per person per visit, regardless.
Yeah.
So that either encourages them to get as many people through the door,
Yeah, or...
which can be a bad thing.
Yeah.
But then they just don't jack up their prices exorbitantly.
Yeah, try and... Well, I have problems with... I feel like there are several things that you shouldn't try and make money off, and your medical system is one of them in a country.
Yeah.
So if you... Apart from, I suppose, obviously you've got to, things cost money, and you need to pay your medical professionals, because that needs to be a job for people. People need to devote a lot of time to being really good at it. That's fine.
Oh, there's some shit ones at the hospital.
There are some shit ones everywhere. Yeah, so...
There's
But it's
one.
just like, you don't want to... You don't want to try and make money out of that, because it deters people from going, which is not a good thing. But, you know, you want people to go and get better so they can get back to being productive members of your damn society and stuff like that.
For sure. But I think almost...
And you don't just want rich people to be able to, like...
But you got the other problem as well now. If it's like... I think we got more doctors per person than any other time in history.
Probably, yeah.
So it's now a matter of trying to go through...
Gotta balance it.
Well, you got to sort yourself through the shit doctors to find a half-decent one.
Yeah.
Because, I had to take a friend to the hospital the other day, and that doctor that she had to see was fucking hopeless.
Yep.
I've never seen someone struggle with something so minor as, like, a cut on the head.
Yeah. I know when I went to get the doctor to look at the, like, interpret the x-rays for my neck, he was hopeless. He just looked at it and just kind of went, oh, yeah, I suppose that shouldn't be like that.
I suppose? What do you mean, I suppose?
That's like what I was thinking. I was like, what? Anyway, so I left, and then I actually went to another doctor and got a different... Yeah, got them to interpret it as well.
That sort of thing is probably almost better to go see a physio straight up.
Well, that was the other thing is, like, he basically just said, nah.
I don't know.
Go see a physio, but I'm not going to refer you, which is kind of not very useful.
Yeah.
Because for stuff like that, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to get a referral. Anyway, so I haven't seen him again, thankfully.
At least he told you what to do.
Oh, kind of.
Go see a physio.
I honestly got more information out of Holly than I did anything else. So, yeah.
People are useless, man.
A lot of people are.
It's like in any profession, though. There's some terrible engineers out there.
Yeah, terrible everything. But I guess that's...
Terrible engineers just write technical documents. Have you ever bought a drill and had that?
Oh, that's the terrible
manual.
engineer. They write those. Oh, okay. Shit, those guys.
Those guys.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't want to badmouth it.
Well, yeah, especially if you end up there and then you can just like, oh wow, this is rock bottom, as described by me.
Yeah.
Well, the upside about, I suppose, about being rock bottom is everything is up.
Some people enjoy that sort of shit, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And, you know, a well-written technical document is extremely useful when you have to use them.
For sure.
But
yeah. I don't know. What else is going on? We got uni coming back on.
Yeah, uni back on in next week. It's going to be pretty chill.
Next week? Oh, shit, it is too. Yeah.
It'll be pretty chill this semester for me, I think.
Yeah. Gotta finish off my hopefully last unit of Japanese.
I passed the hardest subject first go.
Oh yeah, yes.
What
did you end up getting for that too?
Credits.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
Was that the one that you had that ridiculous group work for? And you basically had to mentor that guy?
No, that was a different one. Subject.
Yeah,
I got a credit for that one too.
Nice. Yeah, that was a weird setup with that group.
That was the fucking worst, man. 600 text messages in like fucking 12 hours. I just ended up leaving my phone in the bathroom, up out of reach.
Yeah. So that's the kind of...
Just hear this...
What the... Surely you have something better to do than just to fucking sit around and like...
And after maybe the third or fourth time, instead of trying to contact me, just do the fucking work.
That's the other thing, right? Like, you have so much shit to do. How do you possibly have the time to fire off 600 text messages in like 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Just... Yeah, ridiculous. That's why I try to avoid doing group work.
Yeah. Look, man, with hindsight, I would have probably done it by myself, but... You know, I was trying.
Yeah, trying to play the game.
Play the game and put myself in a outside of things and shit.
I suppose it's also useful if you have to work in like a project group in the future. It's probably a good idea to know how to deal with other people a little in that kind of setting.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I don't have to do that. I just got to sit down and like write papers and shit. But I don't know. We'll see.
Until you have to do a collaboration.
Well, yeah. Apparently they're really tedious as well. I was talking to one of my tutors. He said he a little while back was working on he was a research assistant on on a paper, and he said it was just the worst thing ever. You're trying to coordinate all your research with other people, and you only ever get to read about a really specific thing, and you don't understand how it fits in with everything else. So by the end of it, you haven't actually learned anything either.
Yeah.
It's
You
just
either have to learn everyone's work, or you
Yeah,
have to
or
you
it's
learn
just-
nothing.
yeah, or just you don't have any context to situate your information in, and it just is shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which-
Fuck that.
Is really weird because it's like the body of work you produce. It must get to the point where who even can understand those? I know I was talking to my nutrition lecturer, and she was saying, yeah, some of the papers people produce are just so jargon heavy, no one can understand them.
Yeah. Well, what's
It's
the
like-
point of writing them then?
Yeah, and that's what it is. It gets to the point where it's why are people writing these things? Gets kind of ridiculous.
I've got an issue with obfuscation.
Yeah, same. It's something I definitely try to avoid when I'm writing.
Well, I mean, if you can't communicate the idea,
Well, yeah, what are you trying to do with your paper? Are you trying to fucking confuse people, or are you
Yeah.
trying to talk about something and have people understand you? My thing has always been, I want people to understand what the hell I'm saying.
but even if you like, let's say you need a broad, you need to get super jargon heavy because you need to be super.
Because you need to be
technical
specific. Yeah,
and
that's
specific. Wouldn't it make sense to like sort of, I don't know, first you do the hand wavy.
yeah. You get vague and then you
get
like
vague
spearhead it.
and then
yeah, for
narrow
sure.
it down. So even if,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
well, that's
or just provide.
my approach is I kind of do that. I'll start vague and get specific.
Yeah.
And the other thing I do is you never use a more complicated. You make everything as simple as you can that will adequately explain the situation.
Yeah.
So it's like if you don't have to use jargon, you don't use jargon. If you can get away with using a simpler word, like if you use a 4-letter word instead of a 10-letter word, you use the 4-letter word.
Yeah.
It's like you make it as simple as you can.
I think that's a very
as you reasonably can.
very Orwellian way of
it's like
writing.
I want to talk to
That's
people.
exactly what George Orwell said.
Yeah, well,
It's like don't use a long word
when you can use a short one.
word.
You know, there you go.
And then when you do use like a long word for like, then it really stands out in the sentence and it really emphasizes.
Yeah, well, that's another good point. I try and make things as simple as you reasonably can without oversimplifying.
Yeah.
So that, and it's just annoying when you got to proofread your damn work. You can't even follow your own thoughts because you just made it as flowery as you can. It's ridiculous.
Just draw a fucking picture sometimes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
As seen in the diagram above.
So it's just me, just like with the, just like hand drawing something on that little draw pad.
Yeah.
That's just this shit diagram. Yeah.
It makes so much more sense if things have diagrams, and a lot of those jargon heavy ones that, especially if they describe the interaction between stuff.
Yeah, you want a
probably
diagram.
just need a diagram.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's a little different with philosophy stuff because it's
Rubbish.
it's like abstract thought kind of things, and like you have fun diagramming some of those, like diagram justice.
Okay.
Yeah, right. You can sort of maybe draw a picture of some scales, and like go with that kind of motif.
Draw some
but-
sort of Venn diagram.
Well, yeah, right? Like, what the fuck? I need you to diagram the difference between justice and vengeance.
No, but I don't know if
Yeah.
you could diagram because you could describe that quite simply.
Well, sort of, right? I mean, like, it's a pretty fine line between the two, right? Like, someone's wronged you and you want to cry for justice, or is it like you're looking for vengeance? It can be a bit of a fine line sometimes.
I mean, isn't that just the definition of the word kind of thing?
Well, I don't think so. I think it's a little more personal. It's something like,
Well, vengeance is a bit more personal than justice.
well, yeah, justice. Well, personal justice and like vengeance, I think, can be. They can. I feel like it's culturally mediated because it has to be like it's like acceptable vengeance to an extent. You know.
Okay, yeah.
So it's like I feel like it's mediated by what's acceptable in your surroundings. So it's like if someone, let's say, murders your fiance and you go out and I don't know, like you kill their family and then eat them or something like that, like okay, yeah, that's like not cool. But if someone murders your fiance and then you get them arrested and they go to jail and get fucked in the ass for the next 20 years, like that's seen as kind of justice.
Yeah, because it's like I mean, it depends how they value the crimes, though.
Well, it does, but it also
It's like
is
some
like
people would say justice. If you stole like a loaf of bread, you get your hand cut
you can
off.
get your hand cut off. That's
In
justice.
some parts of the world, so that's justice.
Yeah,
Like,
so that's kind of my point, right?
yeah,
It's like
cultural.
it's socially or culturally mediated a little bit, because it's like that has to do with value systems and the way people think about moral judgments and whatnot. But yeah, but it's still like, diagram that. That's one of the things. It's like it's probably just easier to
describe it.
it.
I could just see some sort of Venn diagram. It's like possible responses, and then you have like this one,
like a flow chart kind of thing, or something
it's
on
like
it.
vengeance.
Yeah, you get like two boxes at the end, vengeance or justice, and everything kind of like flows into those.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
And you get the little grey area in the middle. That's like
Well, yeah, you just got like a third box down the bottom. It's just like a question mark, and everything bar like three things leads into that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Depends on the circumstances. That's the third box.
Fucking philosophy. That's yeah.
It's all what
Yes.
philosophy is, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's
Yes. No. Depends on the context, and everything bar like two things flows into that. Yeah. Contextually,
Murder.
contextually independent. Contextually dependent.
It's murder
information.
justified. It's like depends
Well,
on the
depends on the context. It's like when I was thinking about it the other day, and it's like, how do you? People say, "Oh, I know, I know a lot about Australian history," and you're just like, "Oh, well, what's the increase and decrease of McDonald's workers in Australia over the last 20 years?" And they're like, "I don't know," and it's like, well, because your history is like contextually dependent, right?
Yeah.
It's like, are you talking about the history of how white people work in the country, or are you talking about Aboriginal history? Are you talking about economic history? It's like it's like when you know anything, it's like, oh, I understand something in this really contextually limited frame.
Yeah.
So it's like when people say, "Oh, I know a lot," you're just like, you don't know
The
shit.
problem is the problem I have with history is like
Oh, it's history.
Yeah, like-
history of what?
history of what exactly? And
History
it's
of sandwich shops or history of fucking World War
and
One?
how specific do you want to get? Do you care
That's
about
the other
like
thing.
day to day sort of history, or do
Yeah,
you
what
want,
kind of
like,
history are
week
you
to
talking
week?
about? It's everything is dependent to the question.
Because like the Romans had like really good like day to day records of everything. So theoretically, you could go and look at like a month to month basis of some city's
Yeah.
thing, and like Jesus fucking Christ, that's just like reading an accounting book
Yeah,
of a
for sure.
business here.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
man,
it's just like reading
how
those.
fucking boring is that shit.
Yeah.
But then people find it fascinating because it's like, oh wow, this
Oh
is
wow, they did business kind of like we do. It's like, yeah, what the fuck did you expect? Yeah, it's like, man, it's like they kept accounts of how much stock they had.
Yeah,
Wow, I wonder why.
It'd be like going back 50 or 60 years and then reading the news headlines every day, or
Yeah,
reading
right.
the newspaper every day from 50 years ago. I'm like, sure, it's interesting in one way, but goddamn, it's it's a hair tie.
Well, it's also, I'm sure it's going to be picking up on this
Oh,
thing
yeah,
every time
true.
you click. So it's like, huh?
I need
Yeah.
something to fiddle with, man. Yeah, so give me food. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't know how to I just don't know like
Yeah,
why?
why?
What's relevant? And
Yeah.
history is a funny thing. It's like I
Yeah.
know history. I know what happened last week.
Yeah, right. So yeah, history's a really interesting thing like that. It's so dependent on the question that you're asking at the start.
Yeah.
It's like, I know the history of, World War One, or like you say, I know the history of like Austria or wherever that started, and it's like, well, yeah, what part? The history of sandwich shops or the history of
Yeah.
like royalty?
It's like World War One. It's like, you know how the guy was at the sandwich shop.
Yeah, that's kind of like my point, right? It's like
Yeah.
in the history of sandwich shops, like that guy who walked in is not a big deal. But in the history of World War One, he's like, he is a big deal, you know?
Yeah, he just bought a
It's like,
sandwich.
he just bought a sandwich from this fucking shop, and
Or if you like want to look at World War One, you would almost then want to look at the history of that specific sandwich shop, because, you know, if that wasn't a sandwich shop there,
it could have been somewhere completely different and would have changed the course of history.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's that's
the sandwich shop was founded on the
yeah. It's like, is it Is it part of like, I don't know, do they own more than one business? Is
Yeah.
it like...
Yeah, that sort of never the scale you can look at it never ends.
Yeah, it's very much.
John was the milkman, and he delivered the milk to the man who
Yeah.
made the bread.
Yeah, that's right. Like, how far down do you
Sell
want
the
to take that?
sandwich
Yeah,
to
this
the man.
the bread from this sandwich came from this area. It's like, oh, it was baked on site.
From ingredients.
Yeah, from locally sourced ingredients. And you're like, oh, well, yeah, okay.
John was the flour farmer. He owned the mill that made the bread.
Yeah,
That made the flour, that made the bread, that made the sandwich for the man who shot Franz Ferdinand
yeah.
and started World War One.
It's an interesting side note in the history of sandwich shops in the area. It's like, yeah, right. Interesting side note somewhere, main attraction somewhere else. Yeah, so it's. I think everything that's kind of qualitative for the most part is a little bit like that. It's a little bit.
Depends how you want to look at
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Which is philosophy is just like that on steroids. I think. So everything is so context or question dependent. Even the questions you ask are dependent on other things. So it's like, how do you want to fucking deal with that
Then you
shit?
got to look at things by the usefulness of it.
Well, yeah,
right?
and then it's like, but even use is kind of determined by the question, right? Use is, it's like, use is kind of determined by its ability to aid you in achieving a goal.
Yeah. Well, you need to define your goals.
You need to define your goal first, otherwise something isn't useful to you.
Yeah.
You know? It's like if I want to sit down, the couch is useful. If I want to go in the next room, it's a hazard. You know?
It's in the way.
It's in the way.
Yeah.
So...
Well, that's like what computers have trouble with.
Yeah, I think that's one of the like the
Problems
intelligence
they have
stuff that they have
problems
with.
intelligence. It's like if you're looking for something to sit on, a lot of things look like a chair.
Yeah, and a lot of things become a chair.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you're looking to get somewhere, a lot of things, those things
The
are
same-
obstacles
the exact
instead
same,
of...
the exact
Yeah.
same things are obstacles. It all depends on the context of what you're doing.
Yeah. So it's kind of what I mean by things are like question dependent. The question kind of creates the context that you view information in. So
Yeah, for sure.
which is awesome until you need to answer questions about things.
What context is
Yeah,
it?
it's like, what context is the question set in? What, it's just, yeah.
I hear, man. It's
And
like
then-
those stupid questions you get at like job interviews and stuff. And
Ugh.
you're like, I don't know how to answer this.
Yeah, I'm really bad for that too, because I immediately try and identify the parameters of the question,
Yeah.
which obviously they haven't thought about.
No, they
So-
haven't.
Yeah.
Lachlan, it seems that you have not answered a single question.
It's like, yeah, because I don't know what exactly you're asking me. Yeah,
Be more
I hate
specific.
that stuff.
I'm trying to think of a good example I had.
Well, I know I had it recently in... I stuffed up one of my major nutrition assessments because I didn't interpret the question the way they obviously wanted it to be interpreted, so I just didn't write on the way that they wanted. They wanted like a scientific...
Paper.
Yeah, sort of. And it's just an introduction unit, so it's not like they're being too strict on it. But I wrote my thing, and I had all the stuff in there, and I read the example I gave us, and it was similar enough.
Like the prose was similar. And
Yeah, that kind of stuff, and the way that they used, made their figure of tables and or done all that stuff looked similar. And then I handed it, and I got this feedback. I was like, "Oh yeah, I can see you've tried, but this is all completely wrong." And I'm like, to me, it looks exactly the same, right?
Yeah.
And there's certain things like we got told at the start they wanted like 30 references for it. I'm
Oh,
like,
wow.
well, first of all, you haven't given us 30 pieces of fucking things to reference, so that's obviously not going to happen. Second of all, you're asking us to interpret our own it's primary source data.
Oh fuck! You don't know why you
don't
have
fucking
time.
Well, it's like I studied myself. You have the results right there. It's like, oh, you want to... Okay, I need to do this as per results here.
Who the hell references 30 things anyway?
Who the fuck... Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, like, especially in a 1,000-word piece.
Yeah, well, there's no way you can write 1,000 words especially if you get 30 like academic papers. There's no way you're going to have enough fucking time
There's
to read.
no
30.
way.
That's
Absolutely
that's
no
a
way.
whole lit review.
Yeah, for sure, right? I mean, like, I think the most references...
So laptop's gone to sleep. We're going to turn it back on.
Okay. Is it still recording?
Yeah, it should be. So,
Yeah.
oh, anyway, keep going.
Yeah. My two big philosophy assessment pieces, I had 15 references each for those. And that was loads.
It would have been.
But, like, yeah, the amount of work I freaking put into those things was pretty sizable.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
It's going to
It
make
was just...
sure.
Yeah, like, you want... It's a first-year unit, and you want 30 academic references? Are you crazy?
Fucking dreaming.
Yeah, so...
Tell her she's dreaming.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, so that was the thing. I ended up getting a credit for that unit anyway, because I did really well in everything else, I guess.
Oh, so you
Either
should.
that or everyone else did really shit.
Yeah. It's like that really hard subject that I did. I ended up getting credit for. I swear that everyone must have flunked that exam. Because
Yeah.
I flunked that exam.
Yeah, no one did well, so
Yeah.
comparatively you've done all right.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that's what this unit was. It was, but there was some... that unit, it started off looking really well organised, and then it just got horrible towards the end.
Yeah.
They gave us all of these study notes at the end, and half the answers on them were wrong. Right?
That's the worst, man.
Yeah, it's like... so it's like... One of the things, a pretty simple question was, what does RDI stand for? And it's Recommended Dietary Intake.
Yeah.
And so the answer they have was recommended daily intake, which is, we got told in classes like, oh no, that's the wrong thing. People think it's that, it's not. So anyway, we've got these notes and it's like, oh, you know, what does RDI stand for? And it's, the answer that they had was recommended daily intake. I'm like, that's fucking wrong. We have it on the notes, we have it recorded from the lecture, and we have it in the textbook.
Was it maybe one of those traps for people who haven't studied and thought they could
well,
just
if
do
they
the
were-
practice?
No, because this was like the answers sheet for it.
Yeah, but like maybe they put a trap.
I wouldn't think so.
For the people
I mean,
who weren't paying attention.
Yeah, well, if you fell for it, you're a dummy. But I don't feel like it was, because there were a lot of other mistakes of
That's sort of
similar
caliber.
kind of, yeah. It didn't go so well. So I was like, and about half the notes were like that. So I don't know if the actual lecturer has written them or a bunch of students have written notes and sent them to her to put up on Blackboard, which might have happened as well.
Some of my lab papers apparently, because I got full marks for them, are now being used for as the answer sheet for.
Hey! That's got to make you feel good.
Yeah.
I'm good enough that they've used me as the answer sheet.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Fuck, I hate this couch, man.
Yeah, it's because it's too light. You just keep sliding back. Lean on the other one.
That's
That's
probably I
probably
think I'm
just...
too far away from the mic. I have to.
Yeah,
increase
alright,
the
well,
volume. That's okay.
there we go. Maybe that helps.
It's fucking winter, man. I'm liking winter.
Yeah, I don't mind
The
winter.
only problem is I get real sleepy.
It's the cold.
The
I think.
cold just makes me sleepy all the time.
Yep. Yeah, same.
It's like body temperature's dropping. Better go to sleep. Fuck
Yeah.
you, brain.
No, that's not what I want to do. Rah, stay awake. I've actually been having this really weird problem though, where I will wake up sort of between 4 and 6.
That's the worst time to get up.
I know, right? It's just like it's too early for you to actually want to get up, but it's
Especially at the moment, because it doesn't get like daylight till
Until-
7:30.
yeah, getting close to 8 o'clock. Yeah, it's been kind of crappy. So that's been happening. Thankfully, it's really convenient because I need to take antibiotics around that time. So it's like I've been waking up and like, oh, I'll just take my antibiotics in 20 minutes and then I'll...
The only way I can get out of bed this time of day is I put a light and my heater on a timer.
Yeah.
So it turns on about half an hour before I want to get up. And
Yeah.
like, oh, it's bright. And then by the time, like, because the brightness fucks you up, so you just put your head under like
Yeah.
the pillow or something.
Yeah.
And then after a while, it gets too hot.
Or you run out of... I find when I do that, I run out of air.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you're like, oh, right, I'll just cover myself up. And then you're like, all right, need more air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So-
the heater then makes it too uncomfortable to be in bed anymore. And you're like, all right, I'm getting
all
up.
right. Yeah.
Fuck off. Then you do that thing where you run to the bathroom because it's
Oh, yeah.
ice cold still.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like my grandfather's got the best system. He has his cup of coffee already made. All he has to do in the morning is
Just wake up and like
wake up,
drink it.
and put the
Oh,
hot
yeah.
water in.
Yeah.
So he has like the coffee and the sugar and the spoon
All
and
set.
all set, ready to go.
Nice. Oh, I'm going to start doing that, actually. That's a really good idea. Yeah, normally what I do is I get up as I'm walking past to, go to the toilet or have a shower. I hit the kettle.
Yeah.
If I'm having toast, I'll half toast the toast.
The night before.
No, like as I'm going in, I'll like
Okay.
set it up and I'll half toast it, come out of the shower or the bathroom and then finish
Finish it. So it's
finish
warm.
toasting.
Yeah.
And so I like half do as much stuff as I can before I have to fuck off for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And yeah, that works pretty well. Because it's like you sit there, you're kind of bleary eyed and you get the toaster out and you put the stuff in, drop that, hit kettle, walk out.
Off you go.
Yeah. And that way it's like you can kind of save a bit of time because you don't have to wait for it. You can make your coffee while the toast is finishing and then
Yeah.
you can butter and do whatever else the toast.
It's still warm enough to get away with.
Yeah.
Nice, hot, greasy butter.
Oh, butter's so good.
Fucking nice.
I've actually been enjoying making scrambled eggs with like just a little bit of butter recently. I pick up stuff from work,
Yeah.
so it's like
Yeah, lucky the guy who could only cook like
I got like steak.
and eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got like I can cook a few things now, so I can make those like hash brown things.
Yeah, the problem is like, there's just a lot of work.
There's a bit involved in those, especially if you just want them for one meal. It's like
Yeah, it's not worth it.
yeah, it's a lot of work for one meal. It's not too bad if you've got to feed, if you're feeding like 6 people or something. Although it'd be nicer to have a bigger hot plate to do that, to be honest,
Yeah.
because doing it in a pan is a little bit of a pain.
Yeah.
But-
I think my diet at the moment is going back to just
Basic
super
stuff.
simple basic
Yeah.
shit like cooked chicken and like steamed veg,
Yeah, and just a lot of fruit.
a lot of fruit, a lot of potatoes.
Yeah, I do like me some potatoes.
I can't be fucked anymore, man.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I
For it?
just honestly can't be fucked.
Yeah,
It's like I could,
that's why
Spend-
slow cook as much as possible, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
I could spend 20 minutes. I could spend like 2 hours like the other day
Yeah.
cooking, or I could spend with the same ingredients, like because I made schnitzels the other day.
yeah.
Or I could just fucking cook a steak or a chicken thigh
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
fucking heaps easier for me to do.
yeah. It's 20 minutes versus 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, not even.
not that those schnitzels weren't really good. 'cause
No, they were great schnitzels, but the reward for it is
Yeah.
just not worth it.
That's always been my shit. Like why I don't like cooking is that I resent that it takes me longer to make food than it does for me to eat it. It's like, and it just grinds on me. It annoys me while I'm sitting there eating it, and I finish it in 10 minutes or something, and then I'm sitting there. I'm like, fuck this.
Well,
I have to go
like-
do all that again if I want more.
When I cook, man, that's why I like batch cooking.
Yeah,
Just cook a huge amount.
yeah, and then it takes you not that much longer to cook a shitload more.
Yeah.
And then you actually have it for a decent amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's like the only kind of cooking I can, I suppose, rationally justify is cooking for a lot of people,
Yeah. Yeah.
because it kind of, it's not such a bad thing. You get to see everyone kind of enjoy what you do or shit on you for
Yeah,
what you've just done,
yeah.
depending on what
It
happens.
is rewarding for doing that sort of stuff. I just
Yeah,
can't.
that kind of stuff's good, but
Just can't bother.
and it's also doing it every
Like,
having to do it all the time is annoying. Kind of ruins the fun of it for you.
yeah. No, I'm done with cooking.
Yeah.
I'll pass through that phase.
No, it's not like
It'll
it's,
come back again,
Oh
I'm sure.
yeah, I mean, it's like I've actually been thinking about getting like a little TIG welder or something like that, or a stick welder, and starting to piece together a bit of a workshop. But 2 years ago, I would have been like, fuck welding, I'm sick of welding.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
I want to get a workshop together. It's just
Yeah.
so hard to do in the city, though.
well, it is, and I was thinking like the kind of stuff I was thinking about was just like a small welder and like a 4-inch angle grinder. But you can do so much shit with just those two things. It's like, yeah.
You're going to piss the neighbours off
Ah.
so much.
Fuck that guy. He flies his drone too close to the house. Fuck that guy. I don't give a shit about him.
Just do it
Shit.
at ridiculous hours.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna.
Like 8
What's the
AM.
Oh yeah. Well, he does it. He starts his whippersnipper up at 7 a.m. when you're allowed to start making noise.
Yeah.
Because when I was when I was working at that other place before I was where I am now, and it was taking me, like, I'd finish at 11 p.m. and it'd take me 2 hours to get home, or 2.5 hours, and then he'd be out the fucking front whippersnippering at 7 a.m. and it was just like making me foam at the mouth. I was so angry. So I might just set up like a little backyard forge and just 7 a.m. ting ting. I'm just gonna I'm gonna start forging knives.
Yeah, I do. I really want to forge. I think that's a really fun hobby.
Yeah, and they're not too hard to make, all things said and done.
The problem in the city though is fuel. Like, you'd have to use gas or something.
Well, yeah, and there's nothing wrong with a gas forge.
The gas is expensive. That's
It
all.
is. There's gas, but then what's the other option? Is charcoal.
Electricity.
You can also get charcoal forges, and they're easy to make.
Charcoal forges, again, you got the problem where you have to burn shit in the city.
Yeah,
You could almost like do an electric forge during summer,
yeah,
but I don't think you could do a gas forge or a
yeah. Well, there's that
charcoal forge during summer.
too. Not without a bit of land. Yeah.
No, I
Well,
really,
I mean, like a bit of land by country standards too, not by city standards.
yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
look, man, I want to do metalworking, but fuck, I'd have to wait till I have my own place.
Yeah. You
And
can
that
get away
would
with
mean-
welding and cutting here.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do
You
anything
can't
else.
really do forging. It's
No, it's not enough
too
space.
much. Yeah.
And you end up burning the house down because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
shitty wood.
Oh yeah, here.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. That's like, that would be part of my worrying about using an angle grinder anyway. Shooting sparks in the side of the place and then just turn around, the whole thing's on fire. Like, I can see that happening.
I poisoned the rats as well. I
yeah.
stopped hearing them now.
Excellent.
For about
We're just going to get a weird smell for a little while,
Yeah.
a couple of weeks, and then it'll all be fine.
no my problems. Fucking hell.
Yeah, well, part of that's because the freaking dude doesn't empty his
The
damn shit out.
landlord,
Yeah. God
It's
damn.
fucking terrible.
Yeah, it is. It's annoying.
Worst thing is in there, like, none of that shit in there gets used, and there's like a bunch of tools and stuff. The thing is, a pedestal drill and shit in there.
What?
Yeah.
You know, you can make I've seen a Povo lathe made out of a pedestal drill.
Yeah. I've
Watch
seen
it.
a milling machine made out of a
Ooh.
pedestal drill.
Yeah.
Doesn't work very well.
No, it wouldn't. It's the
You
same
can-
thing as the lathe, right? It's just the way this whole thing was set up was it's almost like a cone kind of set up on the bottom, and the kind of like 3-head
Oh, yeah.
chuck thing at the top.
Yeah.
And so the guy puts pipe in there and sits it on the cone, so it kind of centers itself, and then he just turns the drill on and just like works it with an angle grinder. And it's like, you can get some decent stuff out of it, but it's not great. It's not like you can get that like millimeter precision on a lathe.
Well,
You can't really.
The milling machine made out of the pedestal drill was only really good for like nylon and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
there's just not enough.
There's no torque in
Yeah.
it for cutting steel
No.
or aluminium.
No, especially if you were trying to get anything done
Yeah.
within a time frame.
Yeah.
I mean, all you do is like superheat the tip of your cutting implement, or you dig it in too far and everything and jam.
Yeah, well, like the guy, I forgot his name. He has a whole book series on
Oh, it's just
build-
making your own workshop.
making your own workshop from scratch.
Is that the guy? He starts like
Gingerly, he starts with a forge.
the forge and then casts his own
Yeah.
lathe.
Yeah,
That was so cool. I really like that, like the whole casting your own lathe and like using it to refine bits of it.
Yeah.
It's like by the time you have it set up, you can start
and then
planing
you
the surfaces of things, and it was
can,
like
you
it
can
was
make a
pretty cool.
milling machine, and then
Yeah.
eventually you can build. But I don't this like I think you got to use car parts and shit,
Yeah,
but eventually you can like make your whole workshop from.
yeah.
from
Well, I've
scratch,
seen a guy
which is
make
pretty cool.
I think it was a power hammer out of, I don't know what the engine was. It was something ridiculous though, like he turned his old car into a power hammer or something ridiculous.
Yeah, I've seen that one too.
Yeah,
I've
but I
seen
think
that.
you can do it like much smaller, right? Any
Yeah,
kind
I've
of-
seen a power hammer done, and what they used was like an old, like, I think it was like a washing machine motor or
Yeah.
something, and that
Sounds
was
about right.
tied onto a. It had like so. He would have like a foot operated thing that would
Yeah.
move the whole motor up and down.
Yeah, that was how he dealt with the like.
Yeah, that's how he
turning it on and
dealt
off.
with the
Yeah.
speed, and then the actual actuator of the hammer was connected to this like car tire.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then
I think I've
so-
actually seen the one you talk.
So he like when you push with the foot,
Yeah, and it
it
makes
lowers
contact with
the motor shaft onto the
Onto the
to
wheel.
the wheel, and
Yeah.
that
that starts powering. Yeah.
Yeah, and because you can get slip as well, so you can
Yeah.
like half.
Yeah, dunk. Yeah.
And then the harder you push, the harder it hammers.
Power hammers are pretty cool.
Oh, dude,
It can make forging a hell of a lot easier.
fucking oath. That's how you start mass producing shit.
Yeah. Oh, it's even just
Oh.
quarter of your working time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I watched this guy on YouTube, and he makes knives, and he's okay, but it annoys me when people are commenting on his stuff. They're like, "Oh wow, you're the best knife maker," and I'm like, well, actually, he doesn't heat the steel enough to shape it properly, for one, because he's okay, but he doesn't actually like forge things. He shapes things.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
So
It's not like you're starting with a bunch of
it's not like he starts and he makes
a billet first.
a billet or some Damascus billet or something like that, and then folds or jackets like a soft core.
Yeah.
So it's not like he does that stuff. He just takes like a leaf spring from a truck and makes it into a knife.
Okay, yeah, that's-
which is cool. Or he takes he's had a bunch of knives recently that he's made out of like wrenches,
Yeah.
which is cool.
But it's not really.
But it's not the same as actually forging out a billet
Yeah,
and then working it.
Yeah.
And he doesn't heat the steel enough to do it anyway. It's like,
Oh,
and it annoys me.
Shit has to be like red hot.
It has to be orange. Like
Yeah.
it has to be really obviously orange for a fair length of it. And it's like he's kind of got it just past cherry red, and he's
Yeah,
shaping.
well, that's not. I think that's like working temperature, not forging temperature.
Yeah,
I think
and
that's
it,
the
and it moves the steel just fine. But he also uses a way oversized hammer, which you don't need to do if you heat it properly.
No.
So it's like there's some. Not that I'm a master at that stuff, but he's making some. I feel like some mistakes.
I tried building a forge at home, back in the country, and it was charcoal powered,
Yeah,
and fuck me, it was hard to get.
it's hard to get
It's hard
hot,
to-
consistent temperature.
It wasn't too bad to get the metal red.
Yeah,
It was fucking hard to get it to stay hot. Like you'd only have like 2 minutes max
to work it.
working
Yeah.
time.
And then you got to chuck it back
And then
in.
you got to put it back in, and then I
Yeah,
was
I
like,
used
"This
to have a
fucking
charcoal forge
sucks, man." And then I was like, "I can't do this until I have an actual proper system."
Yeah, I had it was
want
like
it-
an open top charcoal forge for a while.
Yeah.
And it's hard working with that kind of stuff. You
What
really
were
want
you using as an air blower?
vacuum on reverse cycle.
Nice.
Yeah, which is great until you accidentally suck down a piece of charcoal into it. Yeah, because you pull the air through it. I think was how it wanted it to do. You don't blow it out the top because otherwise it just fucking spits shit everywhere. I think that was how.
I was blowing mine out the top.
I think that's how we worked it. Might have been the other way around, but I don't think it was because I vaguely remember fucking we had like a really old vacuum, and I vaguely remember fucking that up because I sucked up a heap of charcoal that was red hot, and it just completely melted all the insides. I was like, oh well, that's no good.
That's the end of that.
Yeah, but yeah, it probably works either way.
You make
I mean,
like a
I
rock.
mean, bellows push air
Yeah,
through
they
things.
push
So I
air.
mean,
So the way I was going to do it, like another one I saw was it was a manually cranked one, where you just had like this huge flywheel that was connected to a bellow. So you just go.
yeah,
like,
you just go,
Yeah.
yeah, cool. Yeah, that's a different way of doing that. No, it's probably not a different way. Actually, it's probably like a fucking.
It's a
as soon as they
old
figured
way.
out how that kind of stuff works,
A
it probably
new old way of doing
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I just had my one was like a dish with like a bit of latticey kind of stuff to let the air through, and then it was just a vacuum and I was like a bit of a mechanism there where you can slide a plate across to limit how much
control,
air is
yeah.
coming through, and then it was just a vacuum
Yeah.
attached to the bottom. And
the
that was
way,
pretty cool.
the way
And a bit
I,
of I-beam for an anvil.
yeah, that's what I used to. Piece of
Big
I-beam.
old chunk of I-beam.
But it didn't work very well. and
Nah, I-beam's
I'm
not
gonna
ideal.
need
It has too much
spring.
spring. It's not too bad if you're working small pieces, but
Oh, it's gonna have to set up a proper space to do that.
yeah.
It's
Have you seen
can't-
how expensive anvils are?
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
You gotta buy them second hand, man.
Yeah, for sure. Also, this same guy actually that I was talking about, he doesn't seem to heat the steel enough for my liking. Anyway, he broke his anvil.
How the fuck do you break an
I
anvil?
don't fucking know.
Probably because he's beating it with steel
Well,
that was not heated up
Not
properly.
heated in a giant fucking hammer, but still, how long do you have to work it for to break your anvil?
Also, he could have had a shit cheap
Well,
anvil.
and that's That was I was thinking probably more the case.
Proper anvils are forged; they're not
Yeah.
cast.
No,
If you get a cast anvil, it's probably going to
it's
crack.
it's a shit anvil probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why they're so expensive. You just imagine like a 100-kilo piece of steel that's
Yeah.
been pressed
Into shape.
into
yeah.
shape or forged into shape. So imagine.
It's always a
wonder-
funny thing thinking about an anvil being forged. Do they forge it on another
Yeah,
anvil?
it's just a giant anvil.
Yeah. And it's like who did the first anvil? It's like when you have a piece of wood that you put other blocks of wood on to split.
Yeah.
It's like that block of wood.
Who cut that block of wood?
Yeah.
Or how do you split that
Yeah. How
block
do you?
of wood?
Well, yeah. How do you split that one? I mean, we had this one back home, and Dad must have had that block of wood for splitting for. Man, it's got to be like 15 years. It's like
The block
it was
splitting.
the splitting block of wood, and I remember when we split that, like it just got to the point because eventually, you
It
know,
just
like,
started rotting. And
oh,
stuff.
it wasn't even that. I don't think it rotted. I think it got to the point where because I'm learning how to use an axe, had accidentally chipped all of the sides of it off, and so I basically just taped it into kind of a point, like you know,
Yeah.
to the point where it was useless for splitting logs on. And then we had to split that, but it was like a big gnarly chunk of redwood or something.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was just this super dense, twisted
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, dude, you got to get yourself a good cutting block because I don't.
Makes
'cause
a
I'm-
huge difference.
I'm pretty tall, so like the ones Mum and Dad were using
Too short.
too short, so it used
Yeah.
to fuck my back up. So I used to want to always a bit higher.
Yeah.
Oh, we've been going for about an hour now too.
Yeah. Oh, it's like we also got to think about getting ready for jiu-jitsu. Yeah. Anyway,
All right, we'll call it there.
yeah, we're just ranting. So
Literally just ran. It's so fucking cold, man.
Yeah, I know. It's not much else. Not much else to do. I
Have a
mean,
nap for 20
yeah,
minutes.
there's that. I start chucking my stuff together so I can get that 20 minutes of lasso in, or however long we work that for.
Because your hands.
Yeah, well, that's it. I can't really do much with this one.
Is
But,
it feeling better? Like the swelling already looks gone.
it's still like kind of swollen. It was actually really funny when it was bad. The only reason you could see my front two knuckles there was because they have a bit of callus build up. It was like you just see like callus blobs, and then there was nothing else.
So when you squeezed the shit out of it, did you get some relief?
Yeah, later, because when I was squeezing the shit out of it, it was painful to the point of being like nauseous. It was so shit.
It's where you
And then-
stick the like. I normally like stick like a piece of fabric in my mouth to bite down.
That's kind of what I was doing. I was just like, because I was getting Holly to hold, like the medical gauze around it,
Yeah.
and I was pushing it, and so I was just like biting onto my collar and then just like jamming as much force as I could onto it, but you can't get all the stuff out because it's deeper than
Yeah.
the skin, so it's like you have to go and get it cut open and shit. But the doctor was pretty disappointed today because there was like, he's like, oh man, there's not that much stuff in there. I was like, yeah, it's because I got most of it yesterday. So that was pretty funny.
Was he excited to see that?
Oh
Was he?
yeah, I think they like doing stuff like that because it doesn't take them long, and it's just full of shit normally. So a lot of them seem
Did
to
they like
enjoy
have a
it.
sucker and
No, it was just
been pulling it out by hand?
yeah, it was just he injected the. I think they numb it with adrenaline, I think, or some kind of adrenaline-esque.
They want something
Work
to stop it bleeding as well. I
Yeah,
guess.
which is what adrenaline does. So, yeah, they did that, cut it open.
They got stitches.
No, because I can't.
Oh, you don't
I have to
want
let it
drain.
heal
Yeah,
from the bottom up. So I actually have to keep the top plugged and open
Yeah.
for the next.
So because they
few
want
days.
all the shit to drain out, otherwise it'll just
Yeah.
rebuild.
Yeah, it needs to heal from the bottom so it doesn't get like a pocket in there,
Yeah.
which he's just like, yeah, that will get infected again for
Yeah.
whatever reason.
Oh,
So,
well, it makes there's nowhere
I
for
mean-
the shit to drain out.
yeah, so it's got to close from the bottom up. So I've got to keep it plugged for at least the next 3 days. He said whenever you have a shower, obviously
Dressing off.
pull the dressing out, give it a really good wash out, and then redress it. So yeah,
It's good.
that'll be fun. Really looking forward to working with
Spider
it.
bites.
Spider bites. Yeah, I don't fucking know. Anyway, we're
Oh,
calling it on this.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, mate.
Fuck dick, bitch.
Ah.
Bam, 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 bam.
You know what's cold enough? Yeah, well, good thing we're not recording.
Oh, we are, but...
Oh, yeah, but...